Michigan State in the home white.
Really look for a defensive matchup. Michigan State loves to go in that 1-2-2 matchup zone. And then on the other end, look for Baylor to play their man-to-man starting out.
And Baylor starts very much the way they did in the semifinals with a turnover on the first possession.
One thing,
Kristin Haynie, the senior, brings it down
for Baylor, they can't get caught offensively just getting focused to get the ball inside. Other players have to step up to open up the inside.
Haynie in and out on her jump shot. Good hustle by Victoria Lucas-Perry to tie it up on the rebound. And the possession arrow will give it to Baylor.
Sophia Young and Stephanie Blackman, the post players for Baylor, between them they average over 33 points a game. Stephanie Blackman coming off a game of 7 points. She's always followed that with a big game.
Whitaker, the lefty. Here's the kick out to Guevara, who can be the wild card. This time she throws it away. Haynie likes to run.
They can run off the defense like that.
Bowen, an excellent outside shooter, but not this time.
Joanne B. McCauley doesn't mind the kind of shots that Michigan State will take because she gives the green light to everybody.
Rory gets the rebound after Sophia Young with a good look, can't hit it. And both teams look a little tight to start this one.
This Michigan State team, talk about everybody has stepped up in a big-time game for them. So there's not one person you can really key in on, and that's what makes them so difficult to defend.
Shimmick comes out to the high post. She's very good out there, penetrates well. Haynie trying to work her way in and banks one home. Kristin Haynie, who averages 10.5 points a game and is the #1 all-time assist man in the Big Ten, gets the first 2 points.
She only had 4 games against Tennessee. It was a very physical game, but she does so many other things.
Whitaker trying to go end-to-end, lost it out of bounds, and Baylor has already had 3 turnovers.
Joanne P. McCauley says Kristin Haynie is basically the coach on the floor. She makes things happen. We talked about the rest of her team following her, and she's going to get involved on the offensive end. She'll make up for what the Tennessee game did to her.
Angela Tisdale, number 20, comes in for the first time, as does number 51, Emily Niemann. And Niemann had a great semifinal game. Very good outside shooter for the Lady Bears. Right now, they just need someone to hold on to the basketball. Rorig, tough pass, but Shimmick made the catch.
We saw LSU an awful lot this year, very methodical in their offense passes. There's a weak pass by Haynie, but they will make a lot of passes in their offense.
Niemann loves that spot, knocks down the 3. Emily Niemann, second in the Big 12 in three-point shooting, almost 46%, gives Baylor the lead.
Niemann coming off the bench for Baylor was a key player that Joanne P. McCauley felt that they had to concern themselves with.
Rory can't hit this shot, and Baylor trying to push it a little bit. And they throw it away again. Baylor is just off to a terrible ball handling start.
Niemann had 14 points and 5 of 7 from the floor the other night, and she not only can shoot the three-point shot, at 6'1", with her size all through high school, she played post, so she can back somebody down too.
It's very unusual to watch somebody shoot three-pointers at one end of the court and then come down and set up in the lane, playing post defense on the other. Runner missed by Lucas-Perry, and here comes Tisdale back the other way. Good ball movement. They get it into the corner to Tisdale. She tries a 3. Rebound comes to Rorig, and she knocks it out to Haynie.
One of the things that the zone that Michigan State puts on you, if you're a shooter, Michigan State in that zone wants to make you a driver. If you drive to the basket, they want to make you a shooter. Tisdale, they'll take that shot from her from the outside.
Bowen, the junior, leans into one, got her own rebound, and a fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock.
Kelly Rorig only had 3 rebounds against Tennessee, and she said that is unacceptable.
Rory comes to a high post this time, but she won't shoot it out there very often. Left-hand hooker won't work. The team just had a terrible time getting the ball in the basket. Niemann at her favorite spot again. She is 2 for 2 from outside. Has that funny sideways rotation, but if you're defending, there's nothing funny about where they go, right to the bottom of the net.
In the first 3 games in the NCAA tournament, she was only shooting 23% from three-point range. She got hot.
Bad pass, but it comes right to Shimmick. She's matched up on Young, tries to penetrate. Haynie cutting down the lane. Pretty play. Haynie with the break without the ball, and good recognition by Shimmick.
In the shoot-around today, Michigan State worked on bringing Liz Shimmick out and making her a passer, and you can see those cuts because it will bring Sophia Young out of the lane.
6'4" Baylor. Blackman has it knocked out of bounds. It's out to the Lady Bears. We have a timeout on the court. 15:08 to go first half. Baylor by 2. Baylor with the early 6-4 lead over Michigan State for the national championship here at the RCA Dome. Let's check in with Mark Jones. Mark.
Well, Mike, Kristin Haynie of Michigan State playing with a lot of energy right now. That wasn't always the case. You see, when she was 11 years old, she had her large intestine removed, and she had always suffered from fatigue until last May. So now, here's the solution, and lots of it. Trainers have her consume 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day. 3 waffles for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, power bars in between for a snack. Dinner, chicken breast, potatoes, veggies, and a nighttime snack, guys, of a couple of pizzas of pizza. Plus, she can tell you where to get the best chocolate shakes within 2.5 hours of East Lansing, Michigan. That's $80 worth of food, Mike. Back to you.
Boy, it looks good.
I'd wear stretch clothes.
That's remarkable. I mean, that's really got to run up a bill. Have to eat like that every day to keep your energy up. That used to be my excuse. Baylor continues to struggle shooting the basketball. In fact, both teams have. And Baylor's had even more trouble hanging on to it and just getting a shot. Rohrig left all alone, almost forced into taking that one. And Sophia Young with a rebound out to Tisdale.
Rohrig shoots 52% from the floor, but she's got to look at that. That's a free throw. And obviously, Baylor knows that she doesn't feel comfortable at that shot.
Young goes out to 15 feet, shows her touch. And the All-American gets her first bucket. It's 8-4 Baylor.
That's where Sophia Young feels that she has really improved in her game to look, because teams have dropped off her, didn't feel that she was confident to take those shots.
Rohrig got great position inside, and she beat Niemann for her first bucket.
And if Kelly Ward is going to get that deep, then she will take those shots. That's why she's shooting 50%.
Absolutely. Can they continue to get Niemann open against this zone? This is Blackman against Rohrig. Missed a shot, but quicker than Rohrig inside her. Got the rebound and put it back.
Blackman did a nice job pursuing the basketball after she missed it. Got by Rohrig, and that's one of the things that really hurt Michigan State. 19 offensive rebounds by Tennessee the other night.
Shimmick can't penetrate. Now Rohrig again. From the lane, can't hit. The rebound goes to Shamika Scott, the 6-foot junior. Young left wide open, missed the jumper. Niemann kept it alive, and Scott gets the follow.
That's where Kim Mulkey Robertson has talked about this team being balanced. They do have a go-to player in Sophia Young, but they've got other players that can really contribute. Emily Young off the bench, or I should say Emily Niemann off the bench, really making a statement.
And they've run their offense very well when they haven't turned it over. When they get shots, they're going in. Shimmick against Young. Oh, pretty move there. Gave her a fake as if she was going to go back toward the lane and then turn toward the baseline and hit the open shot.
Had a chance to talk to Al Brown, the assistant coach for Michigan State. He really felt that Liz Shimmick would be an X factor in this game. She's the only player in the tournament averaging a double-double.
Nice anticipation by Haynie. Behind the back dribble. 2-on-2, gets it to Bowen. Wide open 3, can't hit it. That would have been big.
You think maybe she should have pulled it out. They had a wonderful opportunity for a layup, but we talked about the green light that Coach P. McCauley gives.
Nice spin move by Blackman, and she's fouled. Going to be on number 24, Renee Haynes.
Liz Shimmick, only a junior. She's got a lot of good footwork. And the post players at Michigan State feel that Al Brown, again, the assistant who was at 7 years Tennessee, and then went to some other schools, but really feels at home and helping these post players with their footwork.
Katrina Grantham, number 44, is in for the first time for Michigan State. She'll check in after this free throw. Grantham, a sophomore from Saginaw, Michigan. And she'll give Rohrig a breather.
Stephanie Blackman had averaged double-figure scoring since she was a freshman. Played behind Danielle Crocker, who went into the WNBA. Came off the bench.
And is their first ever academic All-American. Has better than the 3.4 average as a business major. Those business majors are supposed to be smart, aren't they?
I wouldn't know. I wasn't one.
Neither was I. I had a 3.42, but it took 4 years to accumulate it. Bad pass by Shimmick, out of bounds. Michigan State turns it over again, and it's 13-8 Baylor. Both teams shaky early first half. Baylor and Michigan State each going after its first ever national championship in front of almost 30,000 here at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, and Baylor has the early lead. Let's check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Mike, Sophia Young from Baylor University arrived in the United States as an exchange student at 15 years of age. Last week, her mother, Ann Christopher, saw her daughter play basketball for the first time. An emotional reunion hours before a regional semifinal game in Tempe has turned into a magical run to a national championship game appearance. A self-proclaimed little girl when she arrived, Sophia has turned into a woman along the journey. And for Ann Christopher, both women hoping the sacrifices they made will lead to dreams fulfilled tonight. We'll see.
All right, Doris, thanks. And we all had a geography lesson this morning, learning that St. Vincent, a tiny standalone country in the Grenadines in the West Indies. It's amazing sometimes how little we know about our world. Niemann goes inside after hitting 2 threes outside. The rebound by Blackman, and she's fouled on the follow.
That's the story right now. 12 rebounds to 4 for Baylor, leading. Baylor is 3-1 in games this year when they've out-rebounded their opponent. Michigan State 4-2, and there you see Blackman only had 1 rebound the other night against LSU, and she said, I'm coming into this game, I'm going to redeem myself on the boards.
She already has 4, and Blackman is a 77% free throw shooter, misses that one. Rohrig will come back in, and Katrina Grantham will go out.
John P. McCauley said to us today that she felt that Tennessee just was taking a shot no matter what kind of shot it was so they could get the second and third opportunity to get an offensive rebound. In a way, that's what Baylor is doing, and Michigan State has to do a better job blocking out once the shot goes up.
Baylor up by a half a dozen. Haynie trying to drive, held on the way in, and that's going to be on Angela Tisdale.
Kim Mulkey Robertson, Mike, is not afraid to make moves as far as who's going to go in and out. Whitaker coming back into the game. She got pulled quick by
yes, she did.
Mulkey Robertson when she took that drive. Was an ill-advised shot. She pulled her right out, and Tisdale did a pretty good job, but that time defensively got beat.
Whitaker turned it over 3 out of the first 4 times she took it down court. That'll get you a seat in a hurry. Shimmick, and that pass was off her teammate's knee, and then it's turned over on the other way, and Kristin Haynie has it back. Led the Big Ten in assists, assist-to-turnover ratio, and steals, and another turnover, this on a bad pass from Lucas Perry, and that's 4 on Michigan State.
And the Spartans really do not look sharp in their offense. They're just not connecting with their passes. I mean, it's just a step away too far.
Whitaker bringing up against the pressure of Lucas Perry.
And Baylor looks like they're settling into their offense a little better.
Blackman against Rohrig. Doesn't get the roll, and Rohrig with a rebound. That's 3 for the senior.
Joanne P. McCauley feels they've got 6 starters. Haynes in the game now, but she has started some this game, just to give her that confidence.
Shot clock at 9. Haynie trying to penetrate. Picked up. Gives it off to Haynes. One and done again.
Sophia Young is so difficult because she has a 31-inch vertical, and she showed it against LSU.
Young, a 15-footer. She has 4 points. The lead has grown to 8, the biggest of the ball game for the Lady Bears. Of course, I don't think either team is going to be intimidated by being down, considering the comebacks they've made all year, and especially in the semifinals.
Baylor's doing a great job getting inside the lane. Michigan State really struggling.
Shot clock's at 5. Haynie trying to penetrate. Missed the shot, fighting for her own rebound. That ball never touched the rim, and it's a shot clock violation against Michigan State. They are just having a tough time executing their offense. And Mom really enjoying Sophia's performance. Pretty good when you get a chance to see your daughter, who's an All-American, play for the first time in the playoffs and then for national championship honors.
She really showed how good she could be last year.
Ball's kicked off out of Blackman's miss. This is Niemann.
Baylor doing a good job on the offensive end, just going into the gaps right now.
Young got the ball. She was ready to shoot the minute it touched her hands.
Early on, they have figured out Michigan State's defense as far as getting in the gaps. They've gotten in the lane. They're kicking it back out with players that are stepping up right into the open area.
They're so much quicker inside than Michigan State. Rory double teamed the baseline. Lucas Perry. And this one's knocked out of bounds by the Lady Spartans. And Baylor with a 10-point lead as we get a timeout.
Sophia Young, very active. She was a track runner. And you see how she moves right into the middle, underneath the top players. And Joanne P. McCauley not happy with the way things are running on the defensive end.
Waved off the timeout with 8:33 to go, first half. Baylor in control, and they're getting the entry passes where they want them. Rorig blocked that shot, had it knocked out of bounds, but it's off of Michigan State, out to Baylor again.
Emily Niemann, she's the one that makes things happen. Look at her cut right into the lane after the shot is blocked by Rorig. Nobody blocks her out. That's one of the assignments for the 5 white jerseys that Joanne P. McCauley will tell you in that matchup zone. You've got to get a body on somebody, and they have lost sight of that.
But harder to block out from a zone than it is from man to man.
But when this is all you play, you know your assignments, and they should be doing it.
Whatever gaps there are, Baylor is finding a way to get to them. And they've got a big lineup in there now with Niemann. Shot clock at 10, and Whitaker is fouled by Kristin Haynie.
Silly foul by Haynie that time. Whitaker left-handed. She does not go right very often, and they are allowing her to go left.
Scott, good looking shot. Scott has 4, and Baylor's up by a dozen. They look extremely comfortable in Michigan. State still looks like it has a big case of nerves. And Kim Mulkey Robertson said something to Melissa Barlow, one of the officials, and she blew the whistle. And I'm not sure why she would stop it with Michigan State having a possession.
For the Spartans right now offensively, they've got to start setting better screens, getting their players open. Bowen, they're getting high post passes, but it's all one-on-one right now. Good dribble drive right there, Mike, but again, they're not setting the screens, which is a part of their offense.
Bowen with the drive, and we understand the coach asked if that last shot for Baylor was a 2 or a 3, and they told her it wasn't, but that's a pretty good tactic if you want to slow things down and set your defense. Ask that question and get them to blow the whistle. 7:37 to go in the half. Baylor by 10 over Michigan State from Indianapolis. Baylor 20-10 over Michigan State, and they've been in control.
The Lady Bears have spread that matchup zone because Emily Niemann came into the game, knocked down 3. See how wide it is? And then you'll see Young sneak in down into that gap near the high post area. So right now, Michigan State Spartans, the zone has been spread. So now they'd like to pack it in a little bit more to keep everybody out of that middle. But when you've got Emily Niemann in, who's out right now, well, no, she took the ball out of bounds, but there she is.
And she's the X factor because she's a 45.7% long-range shooter. So she may get a lot more minutes than normal tonight. Shimmick, and good defense from behind on the double team. Whitaker with the steal.
You cannot take that many dribbles in the lane.
Blackman kicks it back to Whitaker. Nice drive by Scott. Let's go to Mark Jones. Mark?
Right, guys, during the last Michigan State huddle, Coach McCauley looking at her big post players saying, why is that high post constantly open? Meanwhile, offensively, she talked about getting more cutters into the offense, a little bit more movement. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Mark. And that's going to be a foul on Latoya Wyatt, number 12, the sophomore from Fort Worth who played a year at McClellan Community College. She checks into the ball game and commits the foul. Lindsey Bowen will go to the line. And Annie, on that last trip down, it almost looked like they were in a 1-3 zone with a chaser on Niemann.
One of the things that Joanne P. McCauley talked about in this zone, that they like to pirate up top. They're not putting out enough pressure. That pirate means that person up top defensively puts pressure on the point guard. They have not been able to put any pressure there. Also, Kelly Rourke, when she was saying they're letting the inside players for Baylor too deep, well, she's got to come out. She's got to come out, not only defend that high post, but now we see Shimmick down low too. You see him high, but you can beat that zone from behind.
Reached over the top, knocked it away. Blackman trying to go inside, a little two-man game out there, and Blackman scores as she takes the pass from Niemann. Blackman has a half dozen, and it's 24-12.
That's where the post players are so tough for Baylor, Mike, is that they can step out and knock down that 15-foot, 10-foot shot.
Rohrig was demanding the ball, got it immediately, kicked it right back out, and Scott with a rebound, kicks it to Whitaker. Baylor showing a lot more quickness than Michigan State. And Blackman again. That time she beat Rohrig to the spot and got the ball.
Transition defense was a key coming into this game for the Spartans. They have not gotten back. They're not shooting the ball well. And Baylor is taking advantage of it and running.
Baylor is taking it to Michigan State, 26-12.
We mentioned that Blackman only had 7 points against LSU the other night, and she's following it up big time. And here's the fast break situation. You can see that Kelly Rourke is late getting down, and she's not getting any help from her teammates to stop people coming down the lane.
Baylor off to this great start, and Michigan State has only scored 12 points in 14 minutes. Wednesday afternoon, our coverage of Major League Baseball on ESPN Day Game. Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, and the Boston Red Sox reversed the curse last year in Yankee Stadium. But A-Rod Jeter and the reloaded Yankees looking to regain the crown. Wednesday night, a doubleheader. 7 Eastern, Atlanta against Florida. Then at 10 Eastern, J.D. Drew and the Giants and the Dodgers against the San Francisco Giants. Some of you may see the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. Haynie coming out of the timeout. Let's see what Michigan State has. Bowen with a jumper. No offensive rebounds at all. Whitaker running. They don't have the numbers. Kicks it back to Niemann. 2 for 2 from that spot. Make it 3 for 3. I'd go stand on that spot.
I don't know. I think any spot out there right now for Niemann is hot. Bowen, who's a three-point shooter for Spartans, that's where the Spartans are getting hurt. They're not hitting outside shots. They're forcing shots inside, and they're not natural within their offense.
Boy, and Bowen just got away with a forearm shiver to push off a defender. And Kim Mulkey Robertson really letting the official have it because it happened right in front of her and there was no call.
Emily Niemann, only a sophomore. Great stop and pop under control. She said when she was in 4th grade, she learned how to shoot correctly because she was so much more stronger than everybody else. And she was able to shoot just one-handed and the right way.
It was a lesson well learned. I mean, she's hit 3 bombs in this game. Really a huge part of her team's 17-point lead.
She reminds me like a Jerry Lucas. I know that's going way back, but that style of player.
Not for me. Kristin Haynie hits another free throw. She's an 83% free throw shooter. Here's full court pressure by Michigan State. And with the quickness of Baylor, especially compared to Michigan State, this is a tough assignment for them, isn't it?
Mulkey Robertson, though, the one thing coming in, we have to be poised. Be patient, don't lose your cool. And they've done that in the first half.
Of course, the other night, both teams were so far down it appeared they had no chance to come back. So right now, what does Baylor do with this deficit and 4:39 to go in the half? Young again, wheels into the lane, Rory. Good defense that time, had good position and gets the rebound. Baylor
obviously saw something in the tapes against Tennessee for Michigan State on the offensive glass, and they are exploiting it.
Bowen tries to get it inside. Victoria Lucas-Perry can't handle it, and the turnover for Michigan State. There are only so many possessions you get in a game, so many opportunities, and Michigan State is certainly squandering some here in the first half.
You're right, Mike, and for the Spartans too, right now, you start pressing a little bit, and you press on defense, and you start reaching a little bit. They just need one basket to break the ice.
Whitaker bringing it up against Lucas-Perry. Right down the lane, fouled on the way in by Victoria Lucas-Perry, the sophomore from Flint, Michigan. Of course, we talked about the semifinals, what tremendous comebacks. They had one team 15, the other 16. In the championship game, Louisiana Tech holds the all-time record. They came back from 14 down. Southern Cal had a 13-point deficit reduced. Another offensive rebound off a miss. Young, good passing, got it to Wyatt. Shimmick came out, got a block, and then Baylor continues to fight for the rebound. Good defense by Shimmick, but it goes for naught as there's another foul on Michigan State. Back in a moment.
Welcome back to Indianapolis, where Baylor very much in control here in the first half, thanks in part to Emily Niemann's outside shooting. Now, most times, guys, family members show up at a national championship game. For Emily's brother, Jeff, that a little bit tough at this time of the year. The 4th pick in the 2004 Major League Draft. He was 17-0 on a national championship team at Rice. And I asked her, would she step in the batter's box against him? She said, absolutely. There's no question some of the toughness, guys, comes from that sibling rivalry.
I'll tell you what, that was a brilliant pitching staff that Rice had. It's our pleasure to call those games the College World Series in Omaha. 17-0 is a pretty good record. Baylor 29-13 over Michigan State. The Spartans need a couple of buckets in the worst way. They're going to try to go to Shimmick. She's double teamed, has the ball knocked out of bounds. The shot clock down to 13. Baylor has done such a great job, even when Michigan State runs its offense well, and forcing him to take a long time.
Michigan State is not running their offense well. The spacing is poor. They're too tight, and they can't get those passes in there. That's not a bad shot, Mike, only in the sense that she was wide open. If they set more on-ball screens, they might get some more open looks.
Niemann goes down on the low post and steps out, takes a three. How about that? She's hit 4 3-point shots in this game, and this was a girl who came into the tournament in a terrible shooting slump. In the semifinals, she hit 5 out of 7. She's hit 4 threes tonight, and Haynie answers at the other end, but it's 32-15 Baylor.
Niemann's high is 6 3-pointers against Colorado.
Got a shot at that in the half. And that was a great move. She just backed out on the baseline until she got past the 3-point line and drilled it.
She has that step-back move, knows how to pivot.
Young trying to hit Niemann, too high a pass, and the 7th turnover against Baylor.
Emily Niemann deep in the corner, and she didn't hardly even bend her knees, did she?
Just perfect shots. She hit 4 out of 5. And it's 32-15. Baylor with 2:28 and counting first half. Rory has it blocked by Niemann. Saved by Michigan State. Bowen for 3. Big shot. Bowen is a 44% long-range shooter, and the school record holder has 7 points.
Obviously a key for the Spartans if Bowen can get any kind of hot hand for them.
Baseline, Blackman, no. Knocked out of bounds, out to the Lady Spartans.
Just that one shot should open things up for Bowen and the rest of her teammates.
There's the graphic about the fewest number of points in the first half. Michigan State has scored only 18 as we go under 2 minutes. Bowen trying to hit Haynie. Did they get the timeout, or is she out of bounds first? Whitaker is out of bounds.
That's a great move defensively. Kim Mulkey Robertson really stressed that in practice today, that if the offensive player for Michigan State drives in the lane, and if there's help already there, you don't have to go all the way. Whitaker didn't. She stepped in, got a hand on it. You got to come back and recover.
Bowen, same spot, same result. And Scott knows she made a mistake. Somebody hits one, and 30 seconds later they go to the same spot. You'd better get there.
Mulkey Robertson just looking at Scott. Scott's done a pretty good job, though, on her most of this first half. She's long at 6 feet and has those arms that can really make it difficult for Bowen to get open. Here she stands at the three-point shot, says, okay, I dare you. And Bowen says, hey, I got range, just like Niemann.
And Bowen is so cold-blooded. She had a terrible game against Stanford from a scoring standpoint. Stanford being the #1 team in the country, but only a 2 seed. She didn't have a basket until there was 28 seconds left to go in the game. She had a huge shot, then had an assist and 2 free throws down the stretch. Coming up on ESPN's Singular Halftime Report with Reese Davis, Lisa Leslie, and Stacey Dale Schumann. We'll take a look at the second half adjustments these teams might make. And Michigan State's Tom Izzo will join us live, making an appearance here after the great run that his men's team had for the Spartans. Niemann again, short on this, maybe a step beyond her range. Haynie, great penetration. 8 straight points for Michigan State, 32-23. Comebacks in every game, Annie.
She put the afterburners on, splitting the defense on that one.
Yes, she did, and they needed it desperately. Niemann in her favorite spot, dogged by Haynie.
A little bit more pressure on the perimeter.
Young, double team, foul.
Looked like a tie-up there.
Did.
Young showed her strength, though, pulling through it.
Foul will be on Rorig.
Rorig almost got an elbow in the face. She might have, and that's a tough call for
yes, it was.
Michigan State.
Could have been a tie-up, could have been a travel, and ended up being a foul. And Young gets the first. She'll have another. Kodak All-American and the MVP of the Tempe Regional averaged 22.4 points a game in the NCAA and 8.5 rebounds. She has been brilliant. Has 8 points in this one, 34-23. Under a minute. Haynie and Bowen have really picked things up, and Haynie scores again.
You know, that's a pro move right there. Just that little hesitation to get the defense off guard.
Baylor now can play for virtually the last shot of the half. Only a 1.5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. There is no 10-second backcourt violation in women's basketball. Once you cross that midcourt line, you cannot go back, however, just like the men. And Niemann, another one. She has 15 points all on threes. What a huge shot that was. And now, Bowen at the buzzer nearly hit a 40-footer. Oh, that would have been enormous for Michigan State. Michigan State, about the only thing they have done is win the battle in the paint, 14-10 over Baylor, and Haynie and Bowen have scored 21 of Michigan State's 25 points, and Bowen nearly added 3 on a 40-footer to end the half. Biggest lead was 19 at 32-13. Michigan State is cut into that, but they have a long way to go if they're going to come back and win a title. And Bowen with a runner down the right side of the lane, the number 7 all-time scorer in Michigan State history, starts the second half with a bucket.
I like that the guards from Michigan State are looking to attack, but you know what? They've got to get their inside people involved. You've got to get Shimmick and Rourke touching the ball.
Dangerous pass by Young, intercepted by Haynie, trying to go end-to-end. She will draw the foul on Wubara. Let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Mike, you mentioned the scoring between Haynie and Bowen. That was the main concern for the Baylor Bears. They talked about keeping Haynie in front on dribble penetration. She's also been dangerous on the pitch to Bowen. They'd like to get into Bowen and make her a dribble driver. For more on Michigan State, here's Mark Jones.
Yeah, Doris, the key number for Michigan State, 56. That is their defensive goal. It's written on some of the players' shoes, in fact. But at halftime, Coach McCauley telling me that 37 points that they've given so far was way too much. And it's not about Baylor, it's about us. We have to show much more heart in the second half. Back to you guys, Mark.
All right, thanks, Mark. It's 37-28. Michigan State with a good start to the second half. Young was very active offensively early in the game, but not lately. And there's the double down as soon as she touches this, forced it up. Scott had a rebound, but Rory ripped it away from her, and then Rory has it knocked out of her hands, out to Baylor. And Rory complains to the official that she was fouled.
They've got to do something on the boards. They got out-rebounded 21-10 in that first half. They've only been out-rebounded 6 times, Michigan State, and won 4 of those games.
Well, they were dominated in the first half. Rory now has 5 for the game. She's matched up with Young. Scott, nice defense. Took it right away from Bowen.
That's where Scott's long arms really can defend against Bowen, going over the top like that.
Whitaker wanted Blackman, couldn't find her. Now Young. Niemann starts the second half on the bench. And there's a 3 out of the corner, and that's Scott. Shamika Scott, 37%. She hit 4 threes against North Carolina when they knocked off the number 1 seed. Rory backing in at the baseline, knocked down the defender, got the basket.
Rory and Shimmick between them took 6 shots. During the season, they take 23 shots.
Right.
They've got to get more looks. We mentioned that Shimmick is averaging a double-double. She had 2 points and 2 rebounds.
Scott, nice entry pass. Young scores. Shimmick commits the foul. And speaking of North Carolina, congratulations to the North Carolina men who won it yesterday, and Roy Williams, who got his first national title.
They get the ball inside. Look at how deep Sophia Young gets inside. We've seen her footwork. She can go over the left shoulder, the right shoulder. She goes up and under.
Young, Kodak and Associated Press All-American, among others. U.S. Basketball Writers, first-team All-American.
What I like about the defense of Baylor, they've made it very difficult for Michigan State to get good looks.
Rorig just using her strength, trying to get inside against Young. Didn't succeed that time. Whitaker was looking for Young, thought better of trying to pass it inside on the run. Now Young gets it. Good defense again by Haynie. Knocked away. Bowen gets it. Haynie on the run out. She'll score, and she's fouled by Whitaker. Well, Baylor making some silly ball handling mistakes right now, helping Michigan State get back in this game.
Joanne P. McCauley said, we are a second-half team. When they get in the locker room, she gets them fired up, and it's about the defense. She challenges their heart. She is great with quotes. And she probably has some choice quotes in the locker room today.
Those were Haynie's parents. You saw she completes a three-point play and has 15 points in this ballgame. The most outstanding player in the Kansas City Regional and the Big Ten tournament. Very underrated point guard. Whitaker on the drive, and Whitaker is fouled as she tries to go down the lane against Victoria Lucas Perry.
And that's really poor defense right there. You know that Whitaker can only go left. They allowed her to go that deep, and Lucas Perry, you got to slide over. She was standing straight up, tried to take a charge, but you're not going to be able to when you're standing.
Non-shooting foul. They have cut the lead to 3. And LaToya Wyatt, number 12, has come in for Scott.
Mulkey Robertson has put in some different looks, changed things around.
Blackman with a runner. She's fouled by Rory. That'll be 2 on the senior from Papillion, Nebraska.
You got to love how the Lady Bears are continuing to attack. They're being aggressive on the offensive end.
Blackman will go to the line. It's 43-33. Michigan State creeping back. Blackman hits the free throw. Neither one of these teams particularly good at the line. That's been an oddity this year. And a lot of the teams that have advanced well into the regionals, and especially the Final Four, have not been good free throw shooting teams.
No, and we know that that's where it's going to end up winning. The thing that's so impressive about Baylor, LSU only lost 2 games all season long by a total of 3 points. They beat the Lady Tigers by 11.
Michigan State, going back to the first half, has hit 8 of its last 9 shots. They're now down by a dozen. Shimmick just lost control of that one. Last touch by Michigan State out to Baylor.
What a good matchup.
Shimmick's been quiet.
Well, she has, because it's been the defense. But Wabara now being on Haynie. Wabara, again, long, strong. She's the strongest player on this team. Makes it really difficult for the guards when Wabara is guarding them.
Wabara, Nigerian ancestry, but was born and lives in Parma, Italy. Young, good offensive rebound. Can't hit the shot. Still keeps it alive, and Shimmick with the rebound. Dangerous pass, nearly picked. Here comes Renee Haynes. Loose ball picked by Young. Whitaker with that left-hand dribble kicks it into the corner. Wyatt. Still haven't seen Niemann for Baylor the first 4 minutes of the second half. Young at the baseline, and she is fouled by Shimmick. 2 on the junior from Empire, Michigan. Here comes Niemann to a big hand. Get 5 3-pointers in the first half. The championship game record is 6. Set all the way back in 1990.
She's going to have a cult following.
Yes, she is. You get 5 out of 7, you develop your own cult in a hurry. 16-08 for the national championship. Baylor by a dozen. Wyatt trying to get to the baseline, puts up the runner and scores. LaToya Wyatt, only a sophomore from Fort Worth, has 4, and the lead's back to 14.
Baylor has just attacked the baseline early in the first half. We saw that they were attacking the gaps off passes and dribbles, and the shot's blocked.
Shimmick, air ball as she goes outside.
That wasn't blocked?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
Baylor with the lead.
Baylor by 14 here in the Women's National Championship game. And for Baylor coach Kim Mulkey Robertson, she has the chance tonight to become the first woman to win an NCAA title, first as a player, then as a coach. She would join Dean Smith and Bob Knight. And this is 5 feet of nothing but fire and victories. The record 4 straight state titles, 2 championships as a player. Louisiana Tech, an assistant, 19 years there, guys. Everybody expected she would take over the Tech program. Instead, in just 5 short years, she's got them 15 minutes and 42 seconds away from their first national title.
Done a brilliant job, Doris, and a lot of people thought she was going to be, including her, thought she was going to be the next coach at Louisiana Tech, succeeding at Leon Barmore, and they only offered her a 1-year contract.
And Sonia Holt was there when she won a championship also, and then took over for Sonia Holt here at Baylor.
And really, the difference between Dean and Bobby and her is that they only played moments on those championship teams. She was a key participant.
But also Marianne Stanley and Teresa Grants from Immaculata won championships as players and coaches.
Yes, they did. Kristin Haynie with the drive down the left side of the lane. She's been brilliant. 17 points. She's had 4 steals and gotten her hands on 5 other passes.
But she needs lots of help.
Yes, she does. She needs some. Baylor throws it away, can't save it. Baylor is led by as many as 19. Right now, the Lady Bears are up by a dozen in search of their first national championship. Michigan State, as they did in the semifinals, coming back here in Indianapolis. They're down by only a dozen and plenty of time to go.
Michigan State has to take care of the basketball and be efficient in their offense.
Rorick not in there right now. Haynie tried to get inside. Ran into a lot of traffic. Shot clock is down to 10. Bowen picked up her dribble. This is Laura Hall, the freshman who only averages 1.1 point a game. She's from the great town of Temperance, Michigan.
Joanne P. McCauley trying to find somebody to make a difference in there.
47-37, Wyatt with a runner, no. Niemann with her first basket inside the three-point line. She has 17 off the bench.
And that's really a nice shot off the backboard, too, that close in.
Haynie open for 3, used the screen, but couldn't hit the wide-open shot. That would have been huge. Would have cut it down to single digits for the first time in a long time. Blackman. Nice move to get past Shimmick. Rattles out on her. Tipped outside to Whitaker. And a fresh 30. Boy, wide open Niemann for 3. She wanted the ball, and it rims out.
Second and third opportunities that the Lady Bears are getting. One of the reasons being is that Michigan State is getting too far caught underneath the basket for a defensive rebound.
And that's going to be a foul on the penetration by Renee Haynes.
Emily Niemann is just so savvy as she goes to the wide open spot. The ball is tipped out and she uses the backboard. Her teammates know that she's got a good game going.
Haynes, the sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, will go to the line. She's been in double figures in 3 of 5 NCAA games. Misses that free throw, however. And now number 44, Katrina Grantham, will come in. And Shimmick will get a brief rest. Joanne P. McCauley is not going to be able to leave her all-star post player on the bench for very long, however. She's got Rohrig not in there and Shimmick not in there either. Here's another good drive by LaToya Wyatt.
See, again, for Michigan State, what I'm seeing right now, Mike, is that they're just sliding with Baylor. Baylor is much quicker. All they have to do is get in a defensive position and look to take a charge. And they're bumping the offensive player of Baylor all the way to the basket instead of somebody sliding over and cutting off that position and maybe taking a charge and making it a little bit more difficult shot.
The officiating crew for this one, quite an honor for them to officiate this championship game. Melissa Barlow, Lisa Mattingly, and Scott Yarborough done a good job in this one as Wyatt hits 1 out of 2.
Another thing that the Spartans are struggling with, they averaged 20 assists, and they're at halftime we're only at 3. A lot of their shots are off the dribble rather than the pass.
Bowen can't penetrate. Shot clock at 10, and Bowen 30 feet from the basket. Got away with a push off against Wyatt, goes down the lane, can't hit the shot.
LaToya Wyatt just putting good pressure on the defense.
Knocked out of bounds, and foul? Yes, the foul on Haynie as she went for the loose ball. Well, that's a tough call on
really
Haynie.
Tough.
That ball,
they're both going for it.
It sure looked like it. Unless it was a very late whistle on the initial contact, but it didn't look like it. It's an inbound to Whitaker. Blackman trapped on the baseline and got the shooter's roll.
Stephanie Blackman has come into this game focused her footwork in attacking Kelly Rohr down low and going right at her.
Senior has a dozen, then Blackman makes the block, and she'll pick up the foul, her second. No one for either team in any real foul trouble yet in this game.
Stephanie Blackman, look at how she steps out on Kelly Rohr. Rohr bumps her there. Blackman doesn't stop. She spins, has great balance and presence of mind knowing where she is on the floor.
Rohr gets the free throw. Great post players for both clubs, but Young and Blackman winning that battle easily tonight so far. Both rebounding and scoring, 52-40. So far, Michigan State has made it back to the 10 and 12 point level, but haven't been able to cut any further into that lead.
In the NCAA, they were down against Southern California, down against Stanford. They came back and won those games late.
That psychologically has to be good to keep you in it. But you can't just believe, you got to do something with it. And there's a travel. Good defense. LaToya Wyatt's done a nice job coming in off the bench. Her defense that time forced another turnover. 52-40. Kim Mulkey Robertson pushing her kids in a championship game. Joanne P. McCauley doing the same.
Baylor leading by 12 with 11:58 to go in the second half. Michigan State perhaps poised for another comeback. It has been a huge turnaround at Michigan State under Joanne P. McCauley. Their first year winning 10 games. After that 19-win season, their second year, Tom Izzo stepped to the coach and said, you know what, you're doing really well, coach, but you have to be very patient because you can't change the culture here in just 2 seasons. Advice well taken. Subsequently, they've gone now to a couple of straight NCAA tournaments. The two of them, she says, have a big brother, little sister type of relationship. A good one, too, Mike. Back to you.
And Coach P. McCauley was saying when everything started happening with both the men's and women's team being in the tournament, it was like the Sonny and Cher show.
Been a lot of support from both sides. Haynie nearly got her hand on an offensive rebound off the miss from Bowen. Wyatt, baseline. She's got some quickness. LaToya Wyatt, the sophomore.
As much as Emily Niemann has come into the game, I think Tisdale and Wyatt off the bench have also been key for Kim Mulkey Robertson because of their defense and the little things that they're doing out there controlling the ball.
Wyatt particularly has shown some great quickness. Haynes, this is Rory backing in. Missed the shot, one and done as Blackman gets a rebound. Joanne P. McCauley has tried to go smaller at times, and actually her guards have done a lot better job trying to rebound than her big players. Blackman. Pass was tipped, she got it anyway, and the lead's back to 16.
That's why you cannot key on Sophia Young. She may be the go-to player, but Blackman is making things happen. 6 rebounds, and she continues to score points for the Baylor Lady Bears.
Here's the Pontiac game-changing performance from the Final Four here in Indianapolis. Michigan State with a record-tying 16-point comeback to knock Tennessee out of the national championship picture and qualify for tonight's championship game. Michigan State will receive a $5,000 donation from Pontiac for the school's general scholarship fund. The largest deficit overcome in an NCAA title game, 14, Louisiana Tech back in 1988. Michigan State has been down 19 tonight. They would set another record. But a long way to go because they have squandered a little mini comeback and they're down by 16 right now. Shimmick has been very quiet, short on the jump shot. Let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Mike, in the Baylor huddle, Kim Mulkey Robertson looked at her point guard and said, Chelsea Whitaker, I trust you. This is your basketball game to win. Michigan State is going to have to start gambling. We are in your hands. 4 assists, 5 rebounds. She has not scored, but she just needs to run the team, guys.
All right, thanks, Doris. Shimmick, who was an All-American, 15 points a game, has been held to 2 tonight. Young on the missed free throw, got the ball back, put it back up and drew a foul from Laura Hall. She picks up 2 personals in 10 seconds.
No question, coming into this game, it was going to be rebounds, and Kim Mulkey-Robertson has her team just relentless on the boards. You see the quickness of Young slipping in there. We talked about her height at 6'1", her jumping ability, but also her quickness to jump.
Young hits the free throw. She'll get another. And now Shimmick is going to come out, and Rohrig will come back in. And all those post players from Michigan State, you know, really look like they're sucking for oxygen right now.
You got to like that statement by Mulkey-Robertson to her senior point guard. Whitaker, a 5th-year senior, transferred from Virginia, has had 5 knee surgeries, and just has been a comeback player. Her dad played behind Walt Frazier.
Great entry pass to Young. She knocks it home on the pass from her teammate Blackman, and it's 59-40. They have matched their biggest lead. 10:04 to go in the ball game. Haynie, great pass. They can't get the basket. Shimmick finally back in the ball game, and she scored.
The very beginning of this game, Michigan State scored the first 2 points. And then all of a sudden, it looked like Baylor was rushing things. And then Emily Niemann came into the game, really changed the whole tempo. And you can see how Baylor is so aggressive on the offensive end.
Wyatt with 17 points has been the difference coming in off the bench. Good feed from Whitaker again, and they are getting some excellent passing from about 15 feet away to the baseline.
The Spartans continuing to let Whitaker go to the left side of the floor. She's left-handed. You've got to stop that.
Haynie tried to get to the baseline, cut off Bowen. Haynie will try a 3, too strong. Nearly got the rebound, and then Haynie's going to be called for the foul, trying to follow it.
Sophia Young, look at how low she gets too. The lower you get, the bigger you get, and she has such a good wide base and good balance. One dribble, little head fake right there. You see 3 white jerseys on her, but again, she can jump so high, she rises over everybody. We saw that in the LSU game against Sylvia Fowles, the 6'5" center for the Lady Tigers. I mean, she was just going up as high as Fowles was.
Haynie with 3 personals so far. Wyatt on the free throw, she'll get another. And Shimmick and Young collided, trying to get position on that free throw, and Young went down holding the left side of her head. He really got nailed on that one.
We're talking so much about Baylor's offense, Mike. We got to give credit to their defense, what they're doing to Michigan State. Michigan State has not had a real good flow within the offensive end. They're spacing, they're trying to push things, they're forcing things, they're missing shots.
Haynes, nice pass to Lucas Perry, and she goes baseline to score.
It's the first time that they've beaten Baylor down the floor.
And Lucas Perry, who averages 7.5 points a game, has her first bucket. Nice catch by Wyatt to avoid a turnover, and she backs it out. Well, they really extend the zone on this side because Niemann is over here. It's almost like a box and one when Niemann's in the ball game. And Blackman, who has played so much better in the final than she did in the semis, makes it a 20-point lead, and Blackman has 16 on her own. Whistle and a foul. Watch Young get nailed on this free throw. Oh, right in the chops.
Whoa. With that left arm swinging back. But you know, she's that type of kid who says, don't worry, be happy. She's an island girl. And she brings that joy to this team. She has wonderful enthusiasm. Another free throw missed by Michigan State. They have not been good at the free throw line. You mentioned that neither one of these teams are good free throw shooting teams, but Baylor has been better tonight. Well,
I got to say this. I think her enthusiasm was suspended for about 15 seconds after that elbow to the jaw. And Baylor is just destroying Michigan State on the board, 35-17. That will be the difference if they go on to win this game. Nice cut, nice pass. Outstanding ball movement for Baylor. And they can feel it right now. They're up 66-45. Rory calling for the ball, turns around and hits the jump hook. Rory has 8.
It's a team that just never says die, though, and that's the one thing that Mulkey Robertson has instilled in her team. Don't let up. We've got to keep the killer instinct.
The clock has become Baylor's friend, Annie. Every possession, you just got to take a little bit of time off the clock. Blackman with a miss. Doesn't mean not to run your offense, but there's no sense being in a hurry.
Absolutely.
Haynes trying to penetrate, leans into one little scoop shot, and Niemann with a rebound.
As much as Michigan State is trying to make things happen on the inside, they're still standing on the offensive glass. All you see are the dark jerseys for Baylor getting rebound after rebound.
And this is not a team that is going to come back with a lot of three-point shots. They only average 4.5 three-point shots a game. Although they do shoot them well, there's only a couple of people who are willing to take them. Baylor trying to run away with its first ever national championship.
1, 2, 3, go! Hearts burn!
That's the beautiful Indiana State Capitol building, built before the turn of the century, patterned after the nation's capital, and that stained glass rotunda window is a gorgeous piece of that architecture.
The opening of this game, we talked about the high-low post for Baylor with Blackman and Young. Sophia Young told us that we just have such a special connection, and you can see how quickly they look for each other, how quickly they get in position. Blackman with 18.7 rebounds and assists, Young with 16.7 rebounds and 3 assists. And it's nice to know when you have post players that can pass the ball.
And Annie, of those rebounds, Baylor has 13 offensive boards. Michigan State, even with that size inside, has only 1. You would think with Shimmick and Rorig that they would do better than 1 offensive board. And Niemann, on her way to a career night, she has 19 points in this.
The thing that's impressive, too, Baylor has been so aggressive on the offensive end. You would think that Michigan State would be getting to the free throw line because they play a zone.
One and done as Lucas Perry, who is one of their outside shooting options, with a miss. And if you're Michigan State right now, you've got to think 3 just about every trip, because Baylor is so good in this foul on Rorig. And time has become such a factor. If Baylor only scores on 20% of its possessions from here on out, you're going to need a scoring flurry on the other end to catch up.
And you wonder if Michigan State will go into a man-to-man. No, they will not. They might pressure at the half court, maybe at the 5-minute mark, but they've got to start putting more pressure on Baylor in bringing the ball up the court. That's easier said than done, because the inside players for Baylor have been so effective.
Blackman hits a free throw, 77% free throw shooter. And of course, when you're up by 20-some points, the free throws go down a little easier, too. The lead now 23. Haynie, 40% outside shooter, looking for a screen. And Shimmick, who's only a 30% long-range shooter, but they can't be choosy at this point.
And here comes some pressure.
There's a nice move by Joanne P. McCauley. The final margin makes no difference. She wants a shot at winning.
But what helps is when you can make shots. Michigan State has not shot the ball well, and that has hurt them as far as trying to get into their defense.
Bank shot by Young. Is that sweet? The other thing I think they have to do, and really don't want to, is come out of that zone. Roig looked like she got away with a travel, but turned it over anyway. And now if you're Michigan State, you really can't sit back in that zone and let them take 25 seconds off the clock.
No, you're exactly right. And this is where it's going to be very difficult for Michigan State. They've got to put pressure, and you can see Baylor's just really controlling the tempo of the game. Baylor
really doesn't have to shoot the ball at this point. And they do with 6 on the shot clock. And here comes Michigan State on the run. Bowen, their best outside shooter, goes all the way in on the left hand, scores and draws a foul. Great drive by Lindsey Bowen. She has 15.
Well, Kim Mulkey Robertson is not happy at all with the kind of scoring offense that the guards have had for Michigan State. Great effort by Lindsey Bowen going to the basket and trying to score quickly with time, but you got to give credit to the defense with Shimmick and Rohrig. Again, between those two, they only have 12 points and 10 rebounds.
Fouls on Wyatt. The free throw good for Bowen. Now here comes a zone trap with 5:04 to go. Young, nice feed to Blackman. The two post players have worked very, very well together tonight.
Kim Mulkey Robertson said we needed to stop dribble penetration.
Shimmick, who hit a 3 earlier, missed that one. They get the ball back outside to Lucas Perry for a 3, and that was set up by tremendous hustle from Kristin Haynie, who in the semifinals and the finals has thrown her body around with disregard for her own safety. Thursday night, ESPN2 will have coverage of the 58th annual NCAA Hockey Championship, and we'll have both of the Frozen Four semifinals. And for the first time ever, all 4 teams are out of the same conference, the Western Collegiate Hockey Association. Colorado College against Denver at 2, then at 7. Eastern North Dakota against Minnesota. The Frozen Four available in HD on ESPN2 HD.
Stephanie Blackman, the 6'2 senior, has been the team MVP 2 times in an all-tournament Big 12 tournament player. She has proven herself tonight, going to the inside, not being intimidated by the size of Michigan State. She's gotten rebounds. She's looked to score. She has been the one player that has been the go-to player tonight.
Which she has. And here's what I don't understand, Annie. I mean, they drop back in the zone. There's absolutely no point to playing a zone when you're down by 18 points.
At this point, and you're absolutely right. Obviously an adjustment, I think, in next season that Joanne P. McCauley will have to look at in games like this. Maybe they just feel that it's over.
Well, if you've never played man-to-man in your life, it's time to do it right now.
Right. This is not a team that gives up, honestly. But
Young with a miss, tipped out of bounds. It will be Baylor basketball.
Sitting in that zone, it's going to be tough for them.
It allows Baylor to wipe out 20, 25 seconds every possession.
Baylor on top, 74-56, women's national championship, 3:55 remaining. Kim Mulkey Robertson, just that amount of time separates this woman from becoming the first to win an NCAA title, first as a player, then as a head coach, driving down the lane, beating Cheney State in that final 76-62. And you talk about the transformation of Baylor, folks, 7-20 prior to her arrival. Not exactly worst to first, but almost, guys. In 5 short years, she is very close.
Done an exceptional job coming from Louisiana Tech. Baylor in control with 3:52 to go. Blackman has 22 points in this ballgame, 14 in the second half. She is the leading scorer. Young with 18, Niemann with 17. Sophia Young, who coached Kim Mulkey Robertson in college and then was the head coach at Baylor, preceded her here. So they have had a connection for a long, long time.
She was the first one to coach Louisiana Tech and get them on the map. The first championship, Leon Barmore was an assistant and then became a co-coach. But Sophia Young was the one that really established themselves and got the players that were there and put Louisiana Tech as a powerhouse in women's basketball.
And boy, what a break for Baylor, and what a decision on their part when Louisiana Tech offered Kim Mulkey Robertson just a 1-year contract instead of what most people would have expected in that situation, after being a loyal assistant for a long time, getting a 5-year deal. And she said, I don't think so. Went to Baylor, and in 5 years she has made that program within 4 minutes of a national championship winner.
And just signed a new 6-year deal to keep her there. They were so excited.
Victoria Lucas Perry hits a shot, 3.5 minutes to go. It is 75-58.
And wouldn't be surprised with Baylor winning this game that she gets a call from the President of the United States, who flies into Waco, and his ranch is close by, and has met Kim Mulkey Robertson and her daughter.
Blackman with 2 on the shot clock, puts it up, can't hit it. Tipped in, but out of bounds off the hands of Lindsey Bowen. You can get complete results from the Women's Basketball Championship, as well as information on future championship sites on NCAAsports.com. NCAAsports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Off the bounce, Sophia Young has 21 points. The junior from St. Vincent in the Grenadines, leading her team along with Blackman to what is going to be an NCAA title.
Nice stack right here. Mulkey Robertson knows that the inbounds play is pretty special, and Mom, Annie Christopher, is loving this for her daughter. Kim Mulkey Robertson has won a championship as a player, now is in great hands to win it as a coach. Had asked her yesterday, what is the difference? She said, none.
She'll be the first to win a championship as a player and then a head coach in the women's game. Young and Blackman showed you why they have been such a great post combination throughout their careers tonight. They have been exceptional. The lead is at 20. Haynie, who just fought her heart out, can't hit that 3. And now it will sink in for Michigan State. The comeback that they so brilliantly had on Sunday night to get here is nowhere to be found tonight.
Baylor was the hottest team coming in. They beat Oregon, Minnesota, North Carolina, the #1 seed. A lot of people didn't think that they had the speed, and then LSU, really kind of the #1 team all throughout the season. And then Michigan State beat Stanford, who had been the #1 team. So a great matchup coming in, but Baylor set the tone.
Right now, Young can't miss. She has 24 as we hit 2 minutes to a national championship. And the Lady Bears of Baylor are going to win their 33rd on the season, their 20th in a row, both school records, and their first national title.
We mentioned that Chelsea Whitaker, the senior, transferred from Virginia. Her father also transferred to North Texas from Southern Illinois when he had been playing behind Walt Frazier. And he gave her the confidence to say, hey, it's okay, you're doing the right thing.
And now the Baylor fans, a standing ovation as Wyatt comes out and Blackman comes out. Chanel Fox, #5, will check in, get a couple of minutes of playing time here in the national championship game. As will Melanie Hammerly, a senior from Orange, Texas. She's #25.
Stephanie Blackman and Melanie Hammerly were 2 of the first recruits for Kim Mulkey Robertson, and they're going to enjoy a national championship.
And these kids that rarely get a chance to play, having an opportunity right now, something that they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
In a program, when she came in, she said, hey, I'll take anybody that looks like an athlete.
Young. Basket is good. Timeout to Baylor, 82-60. And it's all over but the final margin right now.
Sophia Young just putting an exclamation mark with the great seal on the defensive end, and Kim Mulkey Robertson played with one of the best, Janice Lawrence Braxton at Louisiana Tech, and seeing the same kind of results of that kind of player, that young lady, Sophia Young.
Well, we usually have a Diet Coke player of the game, but this is the national championship, so why not 2? Young and Blackman, the double post, for the Baylor Lady Bears. Young with 26, Blackman with 22, and they were dominant on the boards. What a tremendous performance by both of them.
Young averaged over 22 points in the NCAA tournament.
Bowen is fouled with 1:17 to go on the clock. The foul call on Angela Tisdale. Baylor will have beaten 3 #1 seeds in this tournament: North Carolina, LSU, and Michigan State. What an accomplishment.
It really was, because a lot of people didn't give Baylor credit because of their size. They didn't think they were quick enough. And Kim Mulkey-Robertson said, hey, speed kills. I don't coach that. I recruit that. And her kids are just as quick and just as fast as some of the other teams around the country, and they've proven it in this game.
Well, they sure have. And Niemann was tremendous in the first half. She was the one who gave them the lead with that tremendous outside shooting. And Wabara comes out. And Joanne P. McCauley gets nailed as Fox hustling for the loose ball at the sideline. It will be out to Michigan State.
And you had asked at the beginning of this game, do you think this is a one-drop wonder as far as Michigan State and some of these other teams? Absolutely not. Both teams have really good recruiting classes coming in next year.
Good save by Fox, but they can't pick it up. Jordan Davis, a junior, is in for Baylor. Fox with a rebound, and this is Davis. And all the Lady Bears fans are on their feet. And Baylor asked for a timeout at the 44-1 mark. Finish the job and you just pencil in the ED. Here comes Monique Jones, #1 into the ball game. She's a sophomore from Faraday, Louisiana. So Kim Mulkey-Robertson making sure she has cleared her entire bench and everybody getting a shot to play.
Really kind of shell shock coming into this game. I think Michigan State really felt that, a lot of people felt that they would do a better job defensively, but I can't tell you how impressive Baylor was in picking apart that matchup zone. Getting inside the lane off dribble drives, and Niemann, the huge difference in this game as far as knocking down those threes, making the zone, having to spread out to open up the dribble drives, and also posts involved.
We talked about the biggest comebacks. This is the second largest blowout we've had in the championship game so far. Right now it's a 21-point margin.
Michigan State was down 19, cut it to 12. Great timeout by Baylor. They came out and scored 3 baskets. .7 seconds to go in this ball game. Chisa Onaniwu, #4, is going to be given an opportunity to play, as is #13, Victoria Jones, for the Baylor Lady Bears. They'll be able to come off the bench, so Kim Mulkey-Robertson has used everybody. #32, Melanie Small from Michigan State is into the ball game. She'll get a chance to play a little bit. Of course, only one team is going to be happy, Annie. Only the team that wins the title. But a tremendous accomplishment for Michigan State. They will finish 33-4. That's an unbelievable Pretty
year.
impressive.
Bowen misses outside. Jump ball.
And
at 21-2.
Baylor will be the first Big 12 team to win a championship. When Texas and Texas Tech won it, they were in the Southwestern Conference.
That's a good point. Baylor doesn't even have to get the ball across the midcourt line. They're coming to their feet in Indianapolis. the start of the year, it would have been most improbable to believe either one of these teams would have even been in the national championship picture. And now you see Baylor as the 2005 NCAA champion. Annie, that's quite a finish for the Lady Bears.
It really was. Kim Mulkey Robertson, I saw her play as a player at Louisiana Tech. She was the general. She made things run. I've seen her on the practice court. I've seen her in the game court. She's still the general. But what she got out of her kids today, what she demanded, they came through for her.